And Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? Big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Keep your planter. Upgrade your technology with a John Deere Performance Upgrade Kit from Landmark Implement. Choose from ExactEmerge, MaxEmerge 5, or MaxEmerge 5E electric drive row units. Take your planter to the next level. Improve yield potential and profitability without buying new. Get new technology, increased performance, and confidence from your planter that's already in your shed. Contact your local Landmark location to order your John Deere Performance Upgrade Kit and experience the Landmark difference.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. It doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
This is the TeamMates Mentoring Hour, coming at you live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studio and online at theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome into the TeamMates Mentoring Hour. I am Harrison Arns running the board. We got a full studio in here today. We got Emily Hack streaming in. We got Gabriella and Jan all here with us today to represent TeamMates. And if you guys want to join the show, again, Starter Heyman text line at 402-464-5685, as well as we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo Channel 951. So again, plenty of ways to join the show, engage in the conversation. And pay attention, we are just on streaming. We got Royals on the FM airwaves. So again, just plug into those streams if you want to pay attention to the show, and we appreciate it as always. But to kind of start it off here, I just kind of want to go around the room and I guess across the stream as well, as we'll bring Emily in here. Emily, go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself and then how you start getting involved with TeamMates.
Yeah, my name is Emily Hack, and I am a community outreach specialist with the Lincoln chapter of TeamMates. And so I do a lot of the recruiting and really just get to spread the word about all the great work that TeamMates is doing across the community. And when I moved to Lincoln, I really wanted a position that was really rooted in community, and what better way to do that than working alongside Coach Osborne. That's about as rooted in this community as you get. But really excited to be just sharing the great work that we're doing.
Absolutely, and we will be doing sharing absolutely that great work. And real quick, I do want to go ahead and shout out Wingstop. The TeamMates Mentoring Hour is proudly co-sponsored by Wingstop, proudly helping feed mentors in the training process to make Lincoln and the surrounding area a better place with TeamMates. Order your own wings online at wingstop.com. Visit any of their 3 locations. And again, Wingstop, you can't always go wrong. I definitely would recommend the lemon pepper dry rub. That is always a win for me. But nonetheless, we'll keep going around the room here. Jan, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you've been involved with TeamMates as a mentor for a while now. So kind of when that gets started for you, and what was that calling?
I became involved with TeamMates 4.5, 5 years ago. I'm a retired teacher of secondary and the university.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had retired for a year or two, and I was really missing being with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, I need something valuable to do and to share. And so I called. And I'd also worked at the athletic stadium when Tom Osborne was there. So we all just kind of follow him So I'm delighted to be able to do this.
Absolutely. And yeah, anytime you talk about Tom Osborne, just the legacy he left behind, obviously teammates being one of them, just an absolutely great thing for the community of Lincoln. And I know you actually got to work with, some of the UNL athletes as well, kind of mentoring those guys. If you don't mind me asking, what are some of those favorite memories, if you might have some?
The first time I realized I was sitting across the table from an Olympian. And I thought, what do I have to contribute? But I was very impressed by all of the different sports and the individual athletes who had come because they were highly disciplined. Okay, mostly disciplined. Anyway, they were disciplined and committed. And so I was very impressed by that. And sharing information and growing with them over the years was priceless.
Absolutely. And we're lucky at the ticket here. We get to meet some of those guys that have been in with there. Adams being one of them, just great people overall. And it's cool to see kind of that legacy and all those generations connecting, and teammates is still here. And it's, getting bigger and better than ever. So Gabrielle, we'll keep going around here. Tell us a little bit about you and how your experience with teammates has been so far.
My name is Gabriella. I am just starting middle school, actually. And teammates has been a very enjoyable experience for me. It's very nice to have like a little time out of the day to meet a friend.
Yeah, absolutely. And then how important is that for you, as a student, just have someone that they're going to show up every week and they're not going to tell you, you need to do X, Y, and Z. They're just going to be there and be an ear for you to kind of, listen.
I am like a straight A student, so sometimes school can get stressful, and just having like somebody to just hang out with during the day, and it's not during a core class, so you can just kind of hang out. It's very nice.
Absolutely. And I like the way you said that too. I'm a straight A student. You should always keep that. That's something that's hard to do, and you should definitely be proud in saying that every single time. But Emily, I kind of want to talk to you a little bit as well. When you guys are kind of looking at putting these groups together to find these good matches, what does that kind of look like from your guys' end, trying to get the best matches possible for these mentors and mentees?
So we work really hard when we're making our matches to try and put together people who have similar interests or life experiences or personalities. It just so happens that Gabriella is a personal friend of mine. So when Jan became available, it made a lot of sense to me. They're both such fun-loving people and positive people, that was one of the reasons that we put these two together. But it makes it so much easier to start that conversation if you have some things in common during those first couple of meetings. So whether that's a love of sports or a love of academics or whatever it is, just trying to put together people who will really make a strong match and be able to build that relationship is really important.
Absolutely. And then for all those curious, again, just go to lincolnteammates.org, get more information there. But what are you necessarily asking from a mentor? I kind of hit on it a little bit, but obviously you're going to have a better background. When you're asking for a mentor to step in and just be there for, that 1 week, showing up every week like that, what are you asking from them? Are you just telling them to be there to listen, or what does that kind of look like for their role?
So our matches meet at school each week for one class period. So 30 to 45 minutes-ish, depending on the school that you're at. And it's not a tutoring program. There's not a curriculum. It's just about starting those conversations and really listening to one another. I think that Jan, you can help me out here. You're a veteran mentor, but I think that the primary job of a mentor is to be a listener and an encourager.
Absolutely. And Jen, I'll have you add to it. As she said, you've done this for a few years now, and you've been a great member for teammates. What does it kind of look like? What would you say that mentors kind of need to bring to the table in terms of just being there to listen?
I would say things like the things that you bring to other relationships, being open, being a constant, being creative, enjoying each other's company. So Oh, and we both have freckles. So and we figured that might have come into the works. But essentially, that's be there is what they suggest. And that's easy enough to follow when we have wonderful students to work with.
Absolutely, be there, right? You just got to show up and just kind of be that reliable source that, maybe if your mentee isn't talkative that day, that just so happens to be the case, but you just got to keep showing up. And I think that's really the key to that whole thing. I want to ask, when we're looking at getting kids mentors, what does that kind of list look like? How much in need are we of mentors, Emily? I'll kind of let you help me answer that one for you. For our listeners, and again, LincolnTeammates.org. So I think if you hear this answer, you really need to consider being a mentor. But Emily, help me out on that one.
Mentoring is a huge need in this community. Right now, we have about 550 young people in Lincoln who have requested mentors that we don't have mentors for yet. So that's part of why we're doing this show, just to let people know that really is a need in our community. And we have so many kids that are looking forward to that relationship, and there might be a kid who's waiting for you out there. And so I hope that you consider getting involved, and again, check it out at LincolnTeammates.org.
Absolutely. And Gabrielle, I want to ask you, what was that kind of feeling like? You get the mentor, and unfortunately, we're still at a point where not every kid's lucky enough to kind of get a mentor as quickly as they would like. What was that experience for you, finally getting the news that, hey, we got a mentor lined up for you?
It was very exciting because I know other people who have mentors, and it's always a good experience. So I was very excited to hear that finally there's a match for me.
Absolutely. And then, with other kids, you kind of see other kids reaching out to you now, asking about that mentor, kind of being curious about the whole teammates process.
Yeah. A lot of the kids who ask me actually have signed up for teammates.
Oh, that's awesome. Absolutely. So you heard that there. You got kids signing up for teammates. So we're going to need adults as well signing up for teammates so we can get that matches. And I want to illustrate something. Again, there's so many different kids out there that are kind of on that list that want a mentor. Emily, correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys have a wide variety of kids that you can pretty much match at least one to probably multiple individuals.
Absolutely. We have our students run the gambit from the straight A students to the kids who need a little bit more academic support. We have kids from all over the socioeconomic spectrum and interests that are all over the board. So whether you love theater or are a fantastic baseball player or just want to talk Steph Curry with somebody, we have a mentee who would love to do that with you. And in fact, I brought 3 profiles with me that if you don't mind, I'd like to read, of 3 actual kids in Lincoln who are waiting. And since Gabrielle is a 6th grader, I brought 3 different 6th graders.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you would, please. And again, Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685, or comment on any of the streams. And if you're interested, again, LincolnTeammates.org, or go ahead and hit us up on any of those streamlines or Starter Heyman text line, like I mentioned. But go ahead and read those off.
Yeah. So David is a 6th grader in North Lincoln. He's very friendly and describes himself as adventurous, curious, and competitive. He is an avid soccer player and hopes that his mentor will be willing to kick around the ball with him. The school staff say that a mentor would be someone who would listen and support his abilities and interests. So if you're a soccer fan, David might be the guy for you. Hannah is a 6th grader near downtown. She has a lot of siblings, so getting one-on-one time with her mom is hard. She loves animals and art and wants to do crafts with her mentor. She describes herself as confident, caring, and curious. School staff tell us she's a good friend to others, and some days she says she wants to be a business person. So the individual attention of a mentor is what would be really, really big for Hannah. And Hannah and all of these kids have been on our wait list for more than a year and a half. So just keep that in mind as you're hearing it. Umar is a 6th grader in North Lincoln. His teachers describe him as friendly, kind, quiet. He enjoys board games, basketball, and skateboarding, and someday hopes to go into law enforcement. His home life is a little bit tumultuous, so we want to find him a mentor who will be his constant for many years to come. And he is asking to be matched with a relatively young, active mentor, so someone who's going to run around with him as well. So those are just 3 of the 550 kids who are waiting.
Absolutely. And I love it when you guys kind of read off those lists because it really illustrates that point that, there's a kid for about every single background that you're going to probably match up with one of them in a great way. I kind of want to switch it over to you guys again. Jan, talking to you, getting involved with teammates, what was those first few weeks kind of like? Obviously, you were kind of had a mentoring background beforehand, but with teammates, what were the first few weeks like kind of getting to know that process?
Well, my first two teammates were high schoolers, excuse me. One I spent 3 years with, and then she graduated. We spent time together following graduation, and that was wonderful. And the other teammate, we started at about the first time, and it just takes a few moments of listening and responding and asking questions and being there. So it was wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I kind of love that the ripple effect. It's kind of weird in a way. You don't necessarily will see the end of that ripple effect, but you'll never know, how many lives you actually affected, because who knows, that mentee, what he grows up to be, and it just keeps extending. And that mentee might even end up being a teammate himself. So it's kind of an awesome experience. Gabriella, switching over to you. What were the kind of first few weeks for you? Obviously, the excitement, you get a mentor. And then what was kind of that process? Because obviously, when it's real life, you guys sit down, you're not going to be best friends right away. There's a little bit of feeling it out, period. But nonetheless, what was that kind of like? And what's it been like getting to know Jan?
It was definitely it was scary the first time.
Mm-hmm.
More nerve-wracking than
Right,
scary.
you got a little bit of anxiety.
It's not really hard to connect with somebody who they have been picked out specifically for you.
Mm-hmm.
Both of us are talkers, so first time we got to know each other a lot,
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And again, I like that because I've said it 100 times before, but they really do get a good job of making sure these matches are going to line up. What is something that you guys have learned about each other already that you maybe weren't necessarily anticipating?
We both like musical theater a lot, and we both like reading.
Okay. And does you ever, Jan, I want to ask you this because you've been through, you had a few mentees now. Is there any different things you've learned about yourself that without teammates you might have never discovered?
Of course. This broadens your horizons, just as you're talking to someone who's working on their own horizons.
Mm-hmm.
One of my students has a background with a language that we're trying to acquire bits and pieces of.
Okay.
And I never thought that I would be involved doing that after high school. So that's wonderful. And so I would say that Gabriella and I have many things to do together. Excuse me. And we look forward to being together every week so that we can do some of the community projects or talk about our strengths.
Absolutely. And again, I think it's just so big to have someone just kind of always on your side, right? Especially for young people. I think, with all the stress and anxiety some young people might have someone in your corner, especially if you never know what things are like back home. That's such a big deal. And again, that's why teammates is so important. Emily, I'm going to go back to you. Say we got some listeners and they're hovering over lincolnteammates.org on the website. They're not quite sure. What are kind of some of those skepticisms that wannabe mentors might be facing that they're not quite sure if they're willing to commit?
I think Gabriella actually did a great job touching on one of them. There's a lot of anxiety during those first couple of meetings. Any new relationship is bound to be a little bit nerve-wracking, whether that's mentoring or, any other thing that you're getting involved with or people that you're meeting for the first time. And so I think getting over that hurdle is a really big deal. I also think that people get nervous about, what do I have to offer a young person? And anyone can be a great listener. I sometimes say in my recruiting, if you can play a good game of Uno and you can listen, you can be a good mentor. Because those are two things that happen in most of our matches. And so if you can be a good listener, you can be a good mentor. And so know that you're going into it with a team. We are going to train you, do thoughtful matching so that you have a place to start that conversation. And we do have a number of staff people. We have 3 full-time match support specialists on our staff who, if you ever have any issues, you are always welcome to call. They're there to answer questions. And in each of the school buildings where our matches meet, there is a TeamMates facilitator. That's someone who's on staff at the building, who is there to answer questions. And they're the ones who actually make the matches in most cases because they know the students really well. And so there's always point people there ready to help. And everybody wants us to be successful.
Absolutely. So you kind of heard it from Emily there. Lots of support to kind of get you through any sort of early anxiety, which again, anytime you got to start that new relationship, sometimes it's just going to happen. But again, you have so much support, not only with TeamMates, but the LPS schools as well do a good job being there for you. I do want to ask, speaking of training and those who might want to get involved, I have a list in front of me, and if you don't have it, that's fine. I can read them off. But do you have spots available for those who want to get trained?
We do absolutely have spots coming up. This Friday from 3 to 6, we have a training. We're hoping to do, we need at least 4 more people for that. So hopefully we get enough listeners tonight that are interested. We can fill that one up. We've got another one coming up on September 22nd, and that is a Wingstop training. You'll be getting free Wingstop if you sign up for that one. So we do have plenty of trainings coming up. And if there's ever somebody who's interested in mentoring, but the times that are listed on our site for the training don't work for you, let us know. We really want this to happen for you and are willing to work with a lot of different schedules.
Absolutely. And again, we just need more mentors in general. It's never a bad thing to have too many mentors. So again, lincolnteammates.org. There's those training spots available. You can learn more at the website. But we're going to go ahead and throw it to our first break. We'll have more from Jan, Gabriella, and Emily all on the next segment. Again, this is TeamMates Mentoring Hour on 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. You can reach us out on the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685, or on the streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 951. We'll catch you guys on the other side.
Repeat after me. I will not touch the fuse box.
I will probably not touch the fuse box.
Sip, do you remember what happened last time?
Yeah, I remember.
What happened?
Half of the city block lost power.
And?
My chicken condo went haywire.
That's right. The chickens ran wild. So what do we do instead?
Call Joe at Ambition Electric and let him handle everything. Look, saved on speed dial.
Ambition Electric, 402-217-3415, or online at ambitionelectric.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here with Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and it is Truck Month at Koppel, and we are pulling out all of the stops for this gigantic event. The lots are starting to fill, and we have some great deals for you waiting in Louisville. Brand new GMC Sierra Light Duty and new Silverado Light Duty trucks. All trim levels have up to $4,000 in discounts. That's right, up to $4,000 off all new light duty trucks right now at Koppel, so do not wait. Now is the time to buy a new truck, so stop on in or visit us online at koppelcars.com. You must have a trade-in and finance with Koppel. All deals with approved credit.
The best way to learn about Southeast Community College is to visit, and you can check out our spaces before you visit in person with a virtual campus tour, an opportunity to see our campuses in Beatrice, Lincoln, and Milford as you learn about our programs and areas of study. There are virtual tours of our learning centers too. We can even take you on a personalized virtual tour. Learn more on our website, southeast.edu/visit SCC. SCC, your path to possible.
You finally finished your man cave in the basement. Brand new furniture, huge TV, and all of your collector's items. You're ready for football season. You were so excited until one bad rain and it is all ruined. Don't risk a flooded basement and countless dollars in damages when it can be avoided. Call John Henry's today for a free sump pump estimate for your home.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mix Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical, and retirement benefits, paid time off, and we pay for CDL training. Apply today to earn an average total compensation of $50,000 to $60,000 your first year driving. From Nebco's beginnings in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
Guys, when I first started with Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, I weighed in at over 300 pounds. Now, less than a year later, I'm under 200 pounds for the first time since high school. I'm stronger, I'm healthier, and it all began with the Farrell's 10-Week Challenge. 10 weeks of kickboxing, strength training, and guided nutrition coaching to help you reach your fitness goals. Their next 10-week challenge begins on April 8th. If you're wanting to change your life like I have, head to theticketfm.com and click on Enroll Now on the homepage. Plus, get a promo code for a discount just for ticket listeners. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, listen up. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. Plus, they're hiring service plumbers. If you're in Lincoln, Waverly, or the surrounding area, contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like getting new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best we can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. We're on the brink of spring cleanups for all of our existing customers and have limited spots left. We trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give us a call today at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of our designers and get ready for Tailored Life's grand opening in Bennett.
You know that feeling after a good, hearty meal? Worries of the world just slip away. Time slows down. Nothing but good times and good company. That's what you get with Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Mary Ellen's does food right, with a menu that includes smoked wings, pulled pork, brisket, catfish. And don't sleep on their sides, shrimp and grits, collard greens, baked beans. It's food that makes your heart happy. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul, just east of 27th and Pineland. Let them fix you a plate.
Hey there.
Hi, honey.
Uh-oh.
Remember we told Jamie and Mike about Liberty First Credit Union, how great their checking account and car loans are, the amazing service we get, and how we love being members?
Yeah.
Well, they took our advice. Jamie said how easy it was to move all their accounts and become members. Now they say they're banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union.
Learn more about being a member at libertyfirstcu.com. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Member NCUA.
There's a lot of realtors in Lincoln, but don't get overwhelmed by all the names. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realtor Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate is your go-to option when buying or selling residential and commercial property. Ben's team offers unbeatable customer service and promises to make the buying and selling process as stress-free as possible. Call Ben today at 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate. No pressure, just professionalism.
This is the Teammates Mentoring Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the Teammates Mentoring Hour. Again, I am Harrison Arns running the ones and twos. We got a full studio. We got Gabriella and Jan, mentor and mentee, both in studio. We got Emily representing Teammates streaming in with us as well. Again, if you guys want to join the show, Starter Heyman text line 402-464-5685, as well as we're streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 951. So again, plenty of ways to engage in the show, and feel free to do so as we continue to go through this hour. And always, we want to shout out Wingstop, again, sponsors for Teammates. We appreciate all the great work that they do. But kind of going forward here, I want to ask just you guys in general, you know, we kind of talked about that early relationship building, but I just kind of want to ask you a very general and broad question. And I don't know what the exact answer is for it, but in your best words, Jan, why is it so important that we have mentors for the youth?
They're very deserving of our time. They are our future. And they are significant individuals in our culture. We've all been there.
Absolutely.
So, and so that's what I've decided.
Absolutely. And then Gabrielle, kind of from a student's perspective, why do you think it's important that we have these adults, these business owners in the community that go ahead and give their time to be a mentor for the youth?
It definitely helps kids' moods. Like today I was like tired, kind of sad for absolutely no reason, and I went to see Jan and I came back happy, like ready to finish the day. I just feel like it's a fun interaction for both ends. I feel like everybody can benefit from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think anybody would not benefit from it unless they didn't like their teammate, which is very, very rare.
And again, I'm sure teammates can figure that out too, where they'll move things around. And not every match, obviously 100% accuracy is what you go for, but in a real world, rarely are you ever going to get 100%. But nonetheless, Emily, I know it's a broad question, but what you guys do is so incredibly important, and that is the message, right? So why is it to you it's so important for, like I said, business owners, people in the community, adults, to reach out to these young people and be mentors?
I think Jan touched on it, that the young people are the future of this community, and relationships are so important. And I think that this is a moment in time when it's especially hard to be a young person. That one-on-one in-person relationships are even more rare and special right now. And so anything that we can do to foster those, I think makes this community and the world a better place.
Absolutely. And, you mentioned something, and this is how it's kind of a crazy time to live in. I'm only 24 years old, and I feel like the face-to-face interactions have gone way down since even I was growing up. And I think that is a very important thing that people need. We're just social beings, and I think you kind of need that face-to-face interaction. Gabrielle, I'm going to kind of ask you, just a bit of a loaded question here, but you're the best person in your age group to kind of represent your peers. What are some of those struggles that you kind of see in your own demographics in terms of your age that why mentors may be needed?
I know not everybody has a good home, and teammates is just another role model to have. I personally have a good home, but some kids don't. I know some kids who don't, and they, like, whenever I explain teammates to them, they get all excited, is what I've seen.
Absolutely. You kind of see that side on their face. And then, again, hopefully they sign up to become a mentee, but we got to get more mentors because we've seen that list. Emily, what is kind of that average weight look like for those who want to sign up, become a mentee, and waiting for their mentor?
So because we do work really hard to make those matches with the right person, the waiting time really varies. We have some young people who are able to get matched right away because we happen to find the right mentor for them. But then we have kids who do wait for a number of years before we find their mentor. But I mean, the stories of the three young people that I read had all been waiting for a year and a half. And especially for young men, the average wait time is at least a year and a half, because we have such a lack of male mentors specifically.
Absolutely. And again, I think as a guy, we just need to do our part there. There's no reason that there should be a lack of guy mentors. Again, it doesn't take all the time in the world. And I know you guys aren't asking, hey, this is when the school year starts. You need to be here every single week. What is that magic number that you're asking from people?
So we actually do make matches all throughout the school year. And actually, Gabriella and Jan are our pretty new match. They were just matched last spring. But if we can make those matches now at the beginning of the school year, then you have the time to really build a strong relationship. The research shows that 24 visits in a school year is sort of a magic number. Now, there are 36 weeks in a school year, so we know that there are going to be times when someone's going to be sick, or this young person's going to be on a field trip, or there's going to be a business trip, or what have you. And so we know that every single week is probably not likely. But if you can hit that 24, the research shows that relationship is going to be solid.
Absolutely. And, Jen, I want to talk to you about this because you've been through this a few times now. And obviously, you're kind of seeing that work, right? That time you're spending with the youth, you're seeing a positive impact. So what was it kind of going through TeamMates the first time that you wanted to sign right back up and get another mentee? And you're just like, you know what? This is a good program. I just want to keep giving to these guys.
I just really enjoyed my matches, my mentees. They did such a fine job of matching us together that I felt good being with them, and they felt good being with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like teenagers, and I'm a rarity.
Yeah, I was saying, I don't know how many people I hear say that one.
Well, most of my teaching career was for teenagers, so I figure why not? They for sure need somebody,
Right?
So anyway, there really wasn't any one thing. It was just the joy of making a new friend.
Absolutely. And then I know you mentioned, getting to see one go through graduation.
Yes.
What is that experience like? Obviously, one of our mentors, he made me laugh. He said, I understand I wasn't the reason that kid graduated, but I have one share in the stock, is what he said. What is that kind of like to, obviously you don't know how much of an impact, but at some point you had an impact on their lives. What was that like watching them go through graduation after spending all that time with them?
You feel rather like the proud parent,
mm-hmm.
Or proud aunt, and just so pleased. And it's always been exciting. I've been teaching since 1974, and so I've seen a lot of classes pass through, and it's always exciting
mm-hmm.
to see them grow and develop, find out what their interests are. That's what I really enjoy. And I learned so much about myself as well.
Absolutely. And again, I love it when obviously we talk about before, life happens. Sometimes the mentor, the mentee, there might be a moving process, but for the ones that actually get lucky enough to kind of watch that whole thing through middle school or high school to graduation, it's just truly an incredible thing. Gabrielle, I want to ask you, what's kind of, tell us a little bit of something about you. What are your future goals look like for you? Obviously, you're still young, 6th grade, but do you have any idea kind of what you want to do in the future?
I want to be an interior designer.
Okay.
And I just I would rather make a good impact on the world than a bad one. So yeah. I
think that's a pretty good rule of thumb right there. I'd rather make a good impact than a bad one. I think that alone right there is a good law to have in itself. I want to ask, do you guys big on the projects at all? I know every group's a little different, and I know TeamMates can offer some projects. Do you guys ever break down the projects that TeamMates offers out? Or what are some of your favorite activities? I know Uno's a hot one for people as well.
Well, we do enjoy doing the projects, and we've got a list of what they are, and we've got one waiting for us. And so we'll do that next week.
Okay.
As we were getting acquainted, since they were through with projects at the end of the year, we attempted a project that should have been a lot of fun, and it was a disaster. And we laughed, and we're moving on to another kind of project.
Can I ask what was the meltdown with the last project? What went south?
We were making bracelets.
Okay.
And we hers fell apart, and it was a bunch of tiny beads, and it fell apart. And mine was multiple strings.
Okay.
And you wrap it around one string. It was way too complicated for what I can do.
That's funny. Yeah, I love the arts and crafts, and it's kind of funny to see. You kind of get to test the mentor and the mentee. Who's got the nimble hands here who can put this thing together, and it's cool to see. And I know TeamMates offers a lot of cool projects. One in particular, I talked about a little bit last week, was the Fleece Heart projects I know you guys will allow do. Obviously, that one has a ton of meaning to it. But Emily, I want to ask you, what are kind of some of the projects or some of your favorites that you guys offer?
Yeah, so the community service projects were an idea that was born out of trying to get our matches and the young people specifically in the matches to realize that they can have a positive impact on this community too. So each month we partner with another organization here in town. The Fleece Hearts are for the Cancer Center. And together the matches do a project that is then passed on to this other nonprofit. And I love them. It's such a great activity for them to do together and a way to give back as a match. One of the ones that was especially close to my heart, my daughter was a preemie. And so a couple of years ago, they made little graduation caps for babies that were graduating from the NICU. So that's fun. Yeah, so that one was one of my favorites. One that my own mentee loved is we had gotten these little zipper pouches that we decorated and I believe were given to the Center for People in Need and were filled with hygiene products. So working with some other really great organizations and maybe introducing some mentors and mentees to those organizations is beneficial for everybody.
Absolutely. And again, I kind of love how those are all, a lot of them are community tied, right? And again, it just kind of continues to extend and making Lincoln a better place in general. And it's just awesome to see. And again, Lincoln teammates.org. They do a lot of great work. And I do notice we got quite a few people watching the stream today. And that's awesome to do because again, Teammates is a great community, or excuse me, as I heard a phone go off. I'll have to check my ringer on that one. But nonetheless, this is the Teammates Mentoring Hour. We'll go ahead and throw it to our second break here. We'll have one more segment on the Teammates Mentoring Hour. I'm Harrison. We got Gabriella and Jan. We'll throw it to break and catch you guys on the other side.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has come to the attention of the Nebraska Lottery that when people hear a radio commercial in their car for one of our lotto games, Powerball, Mega Millions, or Lucky for Life, they tend to begin daydreaming about how they'll spend the prize money if they win, instead of paying attention to the road. So please, when I tell you that Nebraska Lottery Lotto games offer big money and big fun, keep your mind on driving. Do not start thinking about all the things you could buy if you win. Things like bright red sports cars, tropical vacations, 100-inch TVs, hot tubs, SUVs, a new computer, motorboats.
Bob, snap out of it.
Oh, good heavens. Ladies and gentlemen, my apologies. Perhaps I should go home now.
You better let me drive.
Lotto games from the Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now they've raised wages again and they're hiring for production operators at $24.11 per hour, which grows to $28.27 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $32.76 per hour with opportunities to make more based on certification. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or to apply, go to continental-jobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today.
Hi, everyone. Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is hiring. They are looking for a garage door installation and service technician with a clean driving record. Experience is not required as they will train for the positions. However, mechanical aptitude is required. If you want to come be a part of a small business where you're family, not just an employee, call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today to apply at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840. Steve's Garage Doors and Services.
This Easter, focus on your family instead of dishes with the Venue Easter to-go meals. Prepared fresh in house by our chefs, these meals are ready to heat and eat with packages for 2 to 3 people or 6 to 8, and your choice of juicy beef tenderloin, tasty herb roasted chicken, or our famous 6-pepper crusted prime rib. All meal packages come with sides, and we have additional add-ons available to complete your feast. Order today at venuedelivered.com/Easter. That's venuedelivered.com/Easter.
Spring sports are here and it's time to upgrade your equipment. But don't go rushing to your big box store. Play It Again Sports is your place to go for all spring sports equipment for baseball, softball, golf, and disc golf. Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And don't forget, buying from them is a great way to get new products with great discounts by also bringing in your used items for store credit or cash on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
This is the TeamMates Mentoring Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, welcome back into the final segment of the TeamMates Mentoring Hour. We got a full studio. We got one streaming in. We got Emily Hack, we got Gabriella and Jan both in studio representing TeamMates as mentor and mentee. And again, you guys want to join the show, start our Heyman text line 402-464-5685. We got a short segment here. And again, streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and Allo channel 951. In case you missed any of the show, you can always just go back on YouTube. Feel free to rewind it there. Or again, go to ticketfm.com. I'll have the podcast up later tonight for you guys. But nonetheless, we got a little bit of time here. I kind of want to get to people's, what I like to call elevator pitches. But Emily, is there anything that you kind of want to tie in here before we get out of here that you want people to know about TeamMates, whether that's events coming up, opportunities, or just an overall message that, hey, this is a really great opportunity for you guys to get involved?
Yeah. Well, being the beginning of the school year, this is prime time to get trained and matched with a new mentee. And, again, those nerves are real, and starting a new relationship can be a little bit scary, but I mean, Jan and Gabriella are a new match. And so you can already see that relationship in progress. And so I think just, take that leap of faith and hop on LincolnTeammates.org and hit apply, and we will match you up with the right student for you. Not just a student who needs a teammate, a student who needs you. That student is waiting and is ready.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned, Gabriella and Jan being a new match, because obviously I know you're not in here for the studio during the breaks, but yeah, you would never tell. You would assume these guys have been matched for a few years at this point. But Jan, I want to tie into something that she kind of mentioned that's, I think, important. Obviously you've had a background as a teacher for a long time now. What are kind of some of the joys of teaching? Because there is some of that in TeamMates, right? You're not necessarily teaching them math, but you're still being kind of that adult in the room, that mentor. What are some of those favorite parts about teaching that kind of applies to TeamMates?
Being imaginative and accepting and discovering the individual and trying to draw the strengths out and help with any weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
So teaching has brought me that. I wish some of these teammates wanted tutored in Shakespeare. I'd be so much happier. but it's just a wonderful experience. I recommend it for anybody.
Absolutely. And again, anybody, in particular, I'll say it, guys, really, really guys, if we can get some more guys on there, that'd be greatly needed. But obviously, all are welcome. When we're talking about, obviously we need some more mentors, but there's still a lot of good that's going on here. Gabriella, as we're wrapping up here, what have kind of been some of, or just even one of your favorite moments that you've had with Jan so far?
Just the conversations. Like every time we meet, you have a new conversation about a new thing, and it can lead from Halloween to plants. Like it can go anywhere. It's very fun to have a
Mhm.
teammate.
Yeah, and again, I think that's always such a surprise is how much you get out of it. Emily, I want to ask you this. A lot of people, we've talked about it. One of the reasons might be work. They're worried about, oh, with work, I don't know if I'm going to be productive for my workplace and also be a good mentor. What have you kind of seen the pattern with people who come from work to go on to be a mentor for a bit and then heading back? Because I hear a lot of times that the energy doesn't go down, it does the opposite.
Absolutely. For me to get out of the office for an hour and to go focus on somebody else and to, play a game, is a great mood booster. And again, those conversations can be so meaningful. And I think that a lot of people would be surprised at how willing and encouraging businesses are to let people do this during the workday. There are a lot of employers here in town who are happy to give you that time to go and do that because they know that it's a good thing for the community. And workers who are involved in the community tend to be more loyal, more productive. So you never know if you don't ask. And I think a lot of people might be surprised at how their employers would respond if they said, "This is something I'm interested in doing."
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it's always absolutely just worth asking because, especially with teammates, for how long it's been around now, the reputation's pretty good with you guys, and businesses understand the great work you do. So a conversation with the boss, I'd imagine most people would be surprised how willing they are to let you go ahead, take that hour, and then come back, and you're probably going to be smiling, more than you were before you left. One more time, I do want to go ahead and shout out our Teammates sponsor. Teammates Mentoring Hour is proudly co-sponsored by Wingstop, proudly helping feed mentors in the training process to make Lincoln and the surrounding area a better place with teammates. Order your own wings online at wingstop.com. Visit any of their 3 locations in Lincoln. Again, shout out to Wingstop. Great food from them, and it's always great when they provide the food for some of your training events as well. But I'm going to ask you guys this real short, 1 or 2 sentences. Someone's hovering over, becoming a mentor on LincolnTeammates.org. They're really not sure. They got a few skepticisms, and a quick 1 or 2 sentences as we get out of here. What is something you can say to maybe help them, push them over the edge?
It doesn't
And Emily,
take
I'll start with you.
It doesn't take a lot of time to mentor, but it can have an enormous impact on both of the people in the relationship. And know that you've got this whole team behind you. We are going to be there to help you, to train you, and support you as you go through this relationship.
And I'll just keep going around. I'll extend the question to you, Jan, just 1 or 2 sentences to kind of help people finalize that decision on joining up with teammates.
Don't hesitate. Get involved. Bring your heart and your imagination, and you will succeed.
I love it. I love it because I love right there, just bring your heart and imagination. Again, you're just there to show up and listen and just be that consistent supporter for them. Gabriella, same thing to you as we get out of here.
It's very positive. If you're having a bad day, everybody has that. So just being with a teammate or just hanging out it's a bright moment in your day.
Absolutely. And I love how you guys put it. Again, thank you guys so much for representing teammates today and doing it so well. Thank you to Emily for streaming in with us today. Obviously not in studio, but still being a part of the show. Gabrielle and Jan, great job representing teammates. LincolnTeammates.org. Again, if you didn't catch it, Go there, get all your information, and we'll have the show up on the ticketfm.com. You can always go back and rewatch it there. That's it for us. Appreciate you guys all listening. We will see you next Wednesday.